So if you've been anywhere near the mortgage world this year, you've probably heard all this buzz about a big change to credit scores. A change that could supposedly help millions more people buy a home. But you've also probably been left scratching your head, wondering, what is actually going on? Well, let's get into it. It all kicked off with this bombshell announcement back on July 8th. The head of the agency that regulates Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac just casually tweets that a brand new, more inclusive credit score is ready to go, effective today. For anyone dreaming of homeownership, this sounded absolutely incredible. But here's the mystery. Months have gone by. And if you ask any mortgage lender out there, they'll tell you the same thing. Nothing's changed. The new score isn't being used. So what on earth happened? That's what we're going to break down. To really understand this gridlock, we have to rewind the clock a little bit. Because it turns out this whole promise was confusing right from the get-go. You see, the entire industry was completely blindsided by that July tweet. Why? Because the very same regulator had already hit the brakes on the whole plan way back in January. They officially suspended it, saying they needed a more thoughtful implementation. So you can imagine the whiplash and confusion when out of nowhere the message became effective today. Okay, so what's all the fuss about anyway? To really get why this is such a big deal, you got to see the huge difference between the old credit score and these new ones that are supposed to be coming.
Look, for almost 30 years, the entire mortgage world has run on one thing, the FICO Classic Score. But these new models, VantageScore 4.0 and FICO 10T, they're built differently. They look at something called trended data, which is just a fancy way of saying they care more about the direction you're heading. Are you paying down your debt? That matters. And this is the big one. They can actually include things like your rent, utility, and even your cell phone payments. I mean, think about it. That could be a total game changer for so many people.
Yeah, this isn't just some boring software update. This is a high-stakes showdown, a corporate battle between two giants, with the government stuck right in the middle, playing referee. So, to follow the drama, you just need to know the three players on the field. In one corner, you've got Fair Isaac, the creators of the FICO score that's been king for decades. In the other corner, you have the challenger, VantageScore, which was actually created by the big three credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, to compete with FICO. And the FHFA? They're the ref trying to manage the whole thing. And why is the ref so eager to see some competition? Well, this number might give you a pretty good idea. According to a lender trade group, Fair Isaac has jacked up its prices by a mind-boggling 700% in just the last 3 years. With price hikes like that, you can see why lenders are desperate for another option. But hold on, there is a counter-argument here. Some consumer advocates are warning that this whole plan could totally backfire. They're saying that putting a brand new score up against a decades-old one isn't really a fair fight. And they worry it could actually end up hurting competition by just kicking the old player out of the game entirely. Okay, so you've got the corporate battle, you've got the regulatory mess, but beyond all that drama, there are some very real nuts and bolts technical reasons that have brought this whole thing to a grinding halt. It really comes down to two big but separate technical roadblocks, and there's one for each of the new scoring models. And this really lays it out perfectly. For VantageScore, the problem is that the official rulebook that tells the lender how to connect your score to an interest rate, well, it just hasn't been written yet. And for the new FICO score, the problem's even simpler. Lenders literally just haven't been given the data they need to plug it into their systems. So both are stuck, but for totally different reasons. So that missing rulebook for VantageScore, it has a super technical name, Loan Level Price Adjustments, or LLPAs. But just think of it like a giant, super complex recipe book. It tells a lender exactly what ingredients, your credit score, and other stuff go into the final price of your loan. Without that recipe book for VantageScore, lenders just can't cook up a loan. So when you actually lay out the timeline, it's just, of course everyone is confused. You've got an official suspension, then a surprise we're live announcement, followed by official rules that still demand the old system. It's the definition of being stuck in limbo. And you probably shouldn't hold your breath for a quick fix. Experts who are deep in the weeds on this stuff, people like Rob Zimmer, are looking at all the technical hurdles and predicting maybe late 2026? Yeah, that is a very, very long way from effective today. All right, so after all that corporate drama and bureaucratic chaos, let's bring it all home. What is the bottom line for you, the person who might actually be trying to get a mortgage? Here's the simple, hard reality. As of right now, nothing has actually changed. The official rulebook that lenders have to follow was just updated, and it still says, in black and white, you have to use the old FICO Classic score. End of story.
So let's be crystal clear. Lenders cannot, I repeat, cannot use these new scores for loans they want to sell to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. But there has been one small positive twist. Fannie Mae's automated computer system that approves loans got a little smarter. It doesn't have a strict minimum credit score anymore. It can now give a loan the green light if other things look good, like you don't have a ton of debt or you've got some cash saved up. It's a small step, for sure, but it's a meaningful one for some people.
And all of this leaves us with one big, final question. This whole mess is a fight over market share, pricing, and control between huge corporations and powerful regulators. But in the middle of it all, you just have to ask, who is truly looking out for the person who just wants to buy a home?